First of all, you have to understand that Clint Eastwood was like my inspiration. I remember when I think about it, when I came to this country, there was like, John Wayne, Clint Eastwood, Kirk Douglas. There was like two, three guys like that that I really admired, and I wanted to have a career like them. And Clint was one of those guys that I always thought, even from the westerns that he has done before Dirty Harry, that I want to be like him. I want to have this kind of a career, do this kind of movies. So obviously, he had already an impact on me, that he was the motivating force for me to come to America and to get into acting in the first place. So obviously, when you then see your idol coming up with a movie like Dirty Harry and creating a whole new standard in action movies, and also to do it with a certain style and the way he played it with a certain characteristics and lines that were memorable lines, I said to myself, that's what I have to do. I have to go after those kind of movies. And so for me, there was a motivating force to get into action movies. If it was first the Conan movies and then later on in the Terminator and Commando and play cops and in Red Heat and all those things. So he was definitely my motivation and was the idol. And that's what I wanted to accomplish. Well, I think that Clint showed us clearly that when you want to do an action movie and really portray a guy in an interesting way, you should make him multi-dimensional. You shouldn't make just the guy be a straight cop. That doesn't work. I mean, we have seen that too many times on TV shows and all that. But what works is to play around with the character in such a way, like he does, very soft-spoken. He never screamed like you normally see when people play cops. It's doing all the screaming and all the fuss and acting totally out of control a lot of times. He didn't do that. He was, like I said, very calm. He was eating his sandwich or his hamburger. He was pulling out the gun, and he was doing his job. That's what he was doing. And then every time he talked to anyone, anytime he negotiated, anytime he dealt with anyone, everything was in a very calm way. And I think because he acted so calm and he said lines that were quite humorous, it became really hysterical for people. You could laugh in his movies, you could sit there and be entertained like in a comedy sometimes, and at the same time 2 seconds later be totally scared and frightened because he got very intense. So he gave you kind of a multi-dimensional character, which I think worked really well and became the new standard for action movies and for those kind of films.